on target. As usual, as soon as we start this program, you have the opportunity, you have the medium, you have the power, and you can join us. You can participate in the program. The number to call is 4420175. We're on Real FM 91.9, 91.5. We're on We Noise FM in Brooklyn, New York. And we encourage you to put us anywhere you want. Subscribe to the program. Share the program. And like the program. Give us a like. A couple days now we're on generally the same topic. We must not bury our head in the sand. We must recognize that what we do will follow us. What we sow, we will reap. We have the power in the country to choose a government of our choice. And we have the power to monitor that government, to help the government to walk the straight and narrow. So today I'm encouraging members of the NDC. Many have accused me of saying a lot of things about the government. Some say every day you are attacking the government. And sometimes I say I came on the radio to speak about education. But sometimes I say to them, Deacon have me busy. So I can't spend the time that I want on education. Because I said I see this government as an infectious disease. Every time you have a relapse, it takes more to manage the disease. So I'm encouraging NDC members, call me and take issue with what I say. The statements I make about Deacon and NDC, I've always dared you and challenged you to take me on. I'm giving you an opportunity today. You like to talk about Kit Mitchell. Well, I'm giving you an opportunity today to defend Deacon, to advance arguments and justification and explanation for somebody unacceptable actions that this government has taken. And one of them is the raid on the Grenada Development Bank. Explain to us why, the justification, the reason. Another of them is the statement that Deacon make. The only reason NNP getting assistance because they don't know who is the real NDC. NDC have always had a problem with the real NDC. At one time they say inside NDC full of NNP. What statement is that? In democracy, it's a numbers game. You win election, you're supposed to be glad for the people who supported the other political parties that come and support you. For the new people who support you. You may have husband and wife and children inside a house, functioning relatively good, but voting for different political parties. What does NDC mean when they say the only reason NNP getting assistance is because they don't know who the real NDC is? I asked the question today, and I'm provoking NDC members to call. Cousin Blush, you could call to. Using newest radicalized member of the NDC. And you're spotting all the lies to maliciously attack people. I'm challenging you. When the National Democratic Congress fractured the country into classless and colonized and beggy and cultural literates, countryman, what class are you in? Are you in the privilegencia class? As far as I know, you and I should be in the same class. We come generally from the same community. We are the children of peasants. We parents poor as church mice. And both of us went to the college on the hill. And both of us is kind of solo rasta. And farmers. What class you in, countryman? Are you comfortable functioning around NDC? As a member, do they treat you as an equal? Or do they see you in an inferior class? How do anybody who defend NDC could justify fracturing the country into different classes? We have accused the NDC for corruption. Forget what we see. Take into consideration what Lacret said. Lacret was a senator. You call him a whistleblower. He was a member of cabinet. And he had difficulties stomaching the level of blatant corruption in national lottery. Do you agree with that? Cousin Bash, do you support this level of corruption? The Minister of Finance said the thing so bad. Do you want to talk about it? And another minister called it a disaster. Is that not enough to arouse a comment from you? What's about the excessive traveling of this government? Is it justified? When you have a government that squanders the public fund like that, how do you justify it? So I'm calling on NDC members. I'm in front of you though. I'm daring you and I'm challenging you. When we speak the truth. We express our opinion on issues and we give you reason and justification for our opinion. And if you don't agree with us, then you advance reasons. And obviously, if it is credible, we could change our opinion. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes, caller.
One or two interesting things. An observation that I've been talking about for the past 2 weeks thereabout, because it starts showing up. Well, you might say it is complete now. We have a dry season going on right now. And I've noticed that corn all over the place that I've been able to observe is just drying up without even bearing properly. They have not even reached the stage of maturity yet and they just keep drying up. And you know the amount of money people could be saving in Grenada by growing their own food. So the fact that we have a terrible dry season this time around, it means that it will put a pressure on a lot of people's pockets. So you have to buy things from away to make up. Because, we didn't know what to eat and we tried to go as much as we could and save a lot of money. So the situation as it stands now, as I'm seeing, because I'm or St. George Parish. And everywhere you look, corn is drying up. One of the farmers, we talk about this thing, and he tell me even his yam that he planted, or that he has in the ground, the stem is dry. So that's a serious kind of situation. And I don't know if we're going to go into a while to come again. Another thing with the issue of potatoes, and this kind of root crops, you might say, they are being badly affected by this season we are experiencing right now. But I want to go into that issue of the new law that is proposed that would redefine what is a child. And it's interesting that I heard the Prime Minister say very early when they were hoping to bring that about, that this law was initiated by the previous administration. And Ms. Pierre explained on Tuesday what really happened. And it proves once again that the Prime Minister is nothing but a big liar. What Ms. Pierre explained is that people were given the responsibility to draft laws or draft this particular law. But it came to cabinet and it was never approved. This is why it was never even brought into parliament. So the Prime Minister tried to justify the presentation of this law because it was initiated long before they came in. It's a whole pack of nonsense. But on top of that, what the guy is not recognizing that he's pointing out effectively is that they don't see anything coming from them that is initiated by them. And he's not recognizing how ignorant he is sounding or stupid he is sounding when he makes this kind of a statement. And they continue to show a bunch of guys who have no initiative. You don't see any project coming from them that they initiate that create impact in the economy. You know, they react to what is happening. For example, they have to do the project in closure. Something happened, a slippage, they have to react into it. They make have to spend $50 million to rectify that problem. It doesn't mean that it's something that they initiate. And one might even argue that it's nature that caused it. But things continue to show that these guys don't have no initiative, and that's a serious problem in this country. Like you usually describe them as neophytes. Perfect example of a pack of neophytes. And when the Prime Minister is trying to say things to justify what people are objecting to and blaming it on the previous government, it shows their level of immaturity and at the same time insensitiveness.
Yeah.
So, Pierre, take care.
Yes, and remember that nothing was not achieved in Grenada. Nothing was not done. And now you come in and bawl about opposition, bring that and bring that. And even if an initiative was taken in terms of a law, when you reach, you will review it. Remember, the Prime Minister said he didn't read a corporate law. He didn't read the document in terms of the Samoa agreement. And the Attorney General office would have had that to study. Although he didn't read it, he was taking objection with a Catholic priest in Trinidad. You have a caller on the line? Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller.
Good afternoon, good afternoon. Mr. Pierre, the law was written under the NFP, and then they lose their power and the present government initiates. You know, you mightn't like it, but it was written under them. Mr. Pierre.
Colin, you mean to accept this trash from Deacon? Deacon's a corporate lawyer. Colin, listen to this one. Colin.
Stage 2.
Colin.
He on the radio. He says that he's one of them. What are you going to do?
That one, Deacon won't go to them we expect. What the Prime Minister saying? That one the Prime Minister is more stupid than we think.
Yeah, nobody stupid than anything.
Colin, listen. The Prime Minister is a corporate lawyer. Colin, listen. Colin, listen. And he's in power 2 years. And he's introducing a law in Parliament.
Yes.
A controversial law.
Yes.
And when you ask him about it, he blaming the previous government. Then why introduce it?
Who wrote it? Who wrote it? Let me tell you something. I listened to the Prime Minister today on Caribbean Foot, and he's a boss.
The Prime Minister, how he could be a boss? How the Prime Minister could be a boss when he said he did not read the Samoa document? How he could be a boss when you challenge him in a controversial law? He said he not read it. He's a lunatic, not a boss.
Mr. Pierre, the Prime Minister said no Cuban going back home. He said they could say what he heard about. He was standing with the Cuban remaining here, and none of them men going back home. He said Grenada is a sovereign state, and nobody can tell him what to do because Grenada is a sovereign state. So who want to say?
The Prime Minister is a lunatic. I tell you now, that is a political lunatic we have.
Yes.
And it's going to bring untold damage to this country. He's a political lunatic, not because you support him. You don't have to support everything you do. You ought not to support a Prime Minister who is a corporate lawyer and say, I didn't write this document. The previous government wrote it 2 years ago. That one is a lunatic. How could you support a Prime Minister that says, I did not read the Samoa document when the Prime Minister is the de facto foreign minister? That is a lunatic.
You finish that? Let me speak now. The Prime Minister make it clear he didn't read the document. But he have advisors to read it for him and
well, they're not a lunatic. They're a lunatic. How you could have a Prime Minister that is a corporate lawyer saying he didn't read a legal document?
Well, you don't have to read it. The advisor to advise him about it.
But he is a political lunatic.
Mr. Pierre, you that.
How are you going to have somebody so running the country?
So you telling me that read every document or complaint?
You must read the document and bring it to legal affairs.
Your advisors advises you.
No. Legal affairs would have given a one-page document. Thank you, Colin. I mean, I wish some lawyers in this country could speak. More and more losing the respect for some of these lawyers, you know. If the Prime Minister is a corporate law, he spent a lot of time with documents, contracts and documents. That is principally what corporate lawyers do. He's not a defense lawyer, where they go and fight on technicality in court and trying to get emotion and trying to convince jurors. Corporate law is a lot about contracts, agreements, and documents. The Prime Minister have a Ministry of Foreign Affairs. He has a minister. The Minister of Foreign Affairs read the document, and he was passionately against the document. He evoked revolutionary fervor. He believed that signing this document contradicts the Constitution. Any sensible foreign minister would have go to cabinet and arouse other cabinet ministers that this is something we have to have more legal advice on or touch. In addition to that, they have the Ministry of Legal Affairs. If you Prime Minister, who is a lawyer, come and say, I didn't read this document, the Prime Minister is a lunatic, a political lunatic. And it is dangerous to have somebody of that caliber live in your country. It means that you're going to end up signing agreement and documents that the Prime Minister knew nothing about. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar, welcome.
Yes, my dear. I don't find you should be arguing and keeping that.
We have to, Color. We have to explain. Color, it's a dangerous thing that goes on in this country.
Yes, indeed. We all know that.
But a lot of people don't know. If you have a Prime Minister that is signing and arguing with documents that you don't read, we're in trouble.
But I wonder if that fella ever meet, if you know the Prime Minister, if they meet up.
Color.
Yes.
The least of the trouble is the color. My problem is the Prime Minister.
Yes.
The color calling, and the color is arguing, and he believes what the Prime Minister doing is right. And that is why we need to take time off to explain to him how dangerous it is.
Yes.
This is not a joking. What the Prime Minister is doing, I have said before, every time rain fall on this Prime Minister, galvanize. He behaving as if he don't sense. I am very worried that this Prime Minister is under some mind-altering substance. Because you cannot be...
The people and them that say they're supporting it, seeing and knowing he's doing wrong things, and they don't like it.
But sometimes they don't know. Sometimes they believe in.
That look at what this life person with children and them, you know. After they come and they said they want the children and them to lengthen the school time, go up to 8 years before they out from school. And you can't come now up from 12 years. They got to go out, they could do anything unknowing to their parents or whatsoever. So how they want them to go up in school until 18 years? You don't see he's a crazy man. He's a crazy...
Colonel, Ghanaians have to sit down and understand the bigger picture. You have the communists, the Marxist-Leninists, the atheists working together in this country. Yes. They want to mash up the family.
Yes. Yes.
So this law you see the passing is to make more liberal where sex is concerned.
Yes, indeed.
And the purpose is to constantly reduce the impact of the family. This is no little... These things are well designed. And we have to understand that you have too much of people who are saltless Christians that is quiet.
Yes.
This thing is big thing. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, God.
Right, you're welcome.
You see, people have to understand the communists, the Marxists, Leninists, and the atheists. They don't like strong families. And they're very liberal where sex is concerned. A man could have 3 wives, 4 people could marry. Just now you might have 5 men married and 2 animals inside it. They believe religion is the opium of the people. They don't want religion. And these are some of the things they're doing to undermine the impact of Christianity in our country. Yes, caller, welcome. We lost the caller? Caller, go ahead.
Good day, sir.
Yes, my brother.
Well, I have a little problem with my radio, but I don't want to deviate from what you was touching there, but
you could deviate if you want. Nothing wrong with that.
I believe I want to touch a point on my area, Monkridge. This movement, led by Peter David, I am saying with no apology, should be ashamed for he as leader to come to speak to the people of Montreal. You know why? He never, when he was in authority, in his one-man rule, he never say a word on the behalf of Montreal. He allowed Montreal to get the full pressure. I spoke to some gentleman this morning who told me he personally encouraged the leader of those days to sign the detention order to jail all Montreal's people. And right now, he still expects Montreal's people to say he was young those days, forgive him. We said no to the movement because I realized the philosophy is not in the interest of Grenada. I find out from one of the members of that group, and they told me the main aim is to see if they could handbug NNP because they didn't satisfy with Peter David not getting the leadership. I say for that, this is not something that no one should be going along with, because I could tell you that will make no sense. To form a party is a very expensive something, and someone is forming a party, they say, to fight down a party, not Grenada. Right now, what he had to talk about is where we're facing with the Cuba and the American relationship. This is what he had to talk about. We have not about fighting down NNP. The people of Montreal say no. And they don't forget. I rest my case.
Yes, scholars. I always say that, yes, scholar, welcome. Welcome, caller.
Hey, good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Go right
How are you
ahead.
doing? Yeah. Mr. Pierre, if you check what happened with the government, remember the Macklemore situation? Where Mr. Telford was speaking in some function, and he said that like they wanted to take the matter to Parliament, to the cabinet, but he tell well the cabinet, some of the cabinet members were opposed to that. He said that what he did, he called the prime minister, and he and the prime minister agreed to close on Maxim board. Right? Agreed to close on Maxim board. So what will happen if the prime minister making deals, making and doing things with he alone or one of the ministers, while the rest of the ministers don't know about it, and the situation with the Samara deal, I believe Mr. Andal don't know about it, but I do believe that the Prime Minister know who's about that deciding of that deal. But he come and say that he don't know about it. I don't believe he know about it, right? And see what happened. There's a lot of people outside the cabinet making plan with the Prime Minister, because within the NDC there are a lot of different group of people that they have money and certain things that they want to see passing greater Caricom Peter Matlick, and the Prime Minister is going with them. He going with them, and he ignoring his cabinet. You elect people, your people cabinet. The cabinet is the one that will make laws and pass laws, not someone who telling you something. And when you take it and go in cabinet, and then inside cabinet, you then decide if you then decided you are the Prime Minister, you then going ahead and you doing it. That Prime Minister is a dictator. He's a dictator, and he you care about his cabinet, you care about the other ministers. All I care what he said goes. I'm saying it's time for Ghanaian people to get registered to vote out this government in power, because the government is seeking the interests of them. They only seeking the interests of the bourgeois friends and the family, where the poor man suffering. Look at the people in closure. School about to open. What plans the government have for when school open for the children closure? to go to school. Go to school. Mr. Pierre,
All right,
this
thank you.
government is a no-good government. Have a blessing.
I don't agree with people when they say the Prime Minister is a dictator. I don't agree with that. The Prime Minister is not a dictator. The Prime Minister have a group of people that is using government funds to bribe them. So the ministers are very comfortable with the amount of money they're getting. And they don't want to end up like Lockhart. And that power is used to shut them up. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Hello, good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar, welcome.
When you look at the situation with Cuba and Grenada, a sector of people in Grenada don't like the Cuban citizen. If they had liked the Cuban citizen, they would not have gotten in that kind of way. And because they're supporting the Cuban government, America have nothing against the Cuban citizen. What America wants, free up the people, let them have free movements, free this, free that. But they have the people trading them, that is slave trade, working, and they're taking and maybe have the money, going to the government up there, and then people only getting, and if their family, let's say, run away or move, the Cuban government have them have state up there. That is what America against. I don't like Trump, but the policies of Trump, I don't like it. But what America and the whole is doing is trying to get freedom for Cubans. So Grenadians are pretending they like Cubans. They don't like Cubans. They only say they like Cubans. They don't like Cubans. And another thing, America have the right to do what they do, them ministers and them officials in government in Grenada. Because a lot of things they're doing, the citizens of the country are not aware of it. Grenadian doesn't get information from the government. We don't get information from the government. And this man that calling you and trying to defend, he cannot defend. He don't like Cuban too. He don't like them Cuban. Yeah, if you free up Cuba, watch how much of them Cubans and them that will run go in America. All of them want to go in America. But anyway, that is a good for them. Taxpayers' money go stay in Grenada. They can't go in America and have gala. They can't go in America and meet and greet, take taxpayers' money. They can't go in America and pose and take out picture of some woman, some girls are there and go and pose and take out picture. They won't do that to the that is a Trump do to Grenada, tax money to stay in Grenada, some of it. Millions of dollars going just traveling and going on gala. Huh?
Yes,
they have to stop that. Yeah,
thank you.
I well pleased about what American government do to the officials in the country. I'm well glad and I'm supporting them 100%.
Thank you, Colonel. Thank you, Colonel. This is a time, you see, the government is not giving information. They're hiding. And when you find a government that hiding, then rumors and speculation going to run wild. And why should a government be hiding from the press? Because they're lying. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar, welcome.
How are you doing?
Great, man.
Right. So, Mr. Pierre, we have seen since this government, this administration took up office, there has been excessive travel. And we have seen the leanings to Africa and most likely what we see lately was Nigeria, and we see what's happening. And we know Nigeria. Now, for the last 3 years also, we have seen the level of corruption go up, right? We have seen the Prime Minister and his team take increase, and to kind of beige that out of the eyes of Grenadians, they give the opposition leaders increase also. They give this the constituency $10,000, which also is another dark smoke. Because here's what the plan was, in my view, what should they do? They want you now to take off the eyes off of them, right? Demonize now the opposition leaders and the opposition MPs. Well, look, we give all that increase too, so I shouldn't be talking about MPs on the government side getting an increase. Look, we give all that $10,000, and look, we get that $10,000. You know? So this is what they're doing. It is called distraction tactics. I've been saying that since day one, right? And you rightly so, sir, has been asking who sent this guy, right? Who sent the gun? Who sent this team of neophytes and young people, and they call themselves young. But at what age did Dr. Mitchell become the Prime Minister of Grenada? You know? You ever brother will call and talk about this young visionary leader and look what they negotiate for. Now let me ask a question. If nothing was going on for the last 10 years that NNP was in office, because it wasn't in office for the last 22 years, the last 10 years, you had an NEC before. You had an NNP before that also. You had an NEC also. So let me not erase the memory that NEC was there. You had Bradford. You had Tillman. You had Nazim Buck as leader. You had all these other people there. But no, only Kit Mitchell, you all have the strength on. But here's what. Dr. Mitchell was the one that reintroduced Grenada to Carriacou, to Cuba. I mean, right? The relations with Cuba. And we was not in this problem. You have ministers, especially a minister that go on a national program and say that he don't mind losing the visa. Now we're hearing today I say there's no, that particular minister who is acting as prime minister has lost his visa. Let us see or hear when this government will come and have a press conference and tell us what is going on. What all they're saying about is shrimp farm and chicken farm. There are two elected ministers right now in government that have failed businesses, that got loans from banks, that in turn not they look for the bank yet, and tell about corruption. The corruption is within this government. Mr. Pierre, have a good day.
Yes, scholar. And remember, you Grenada have a lot of communists. A lot of people pretending to be communists. And when they're back in Cuba, they're back in the ideology, not the people. I've not heard no trade union leader in Grenada, and no communist in the Caribbean, or socialist, call for a free and fair trial for the thousands of people that is languishing in jail in Cuba after 60 years. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre, I'm back again. This sentiment expressed by that lady who spoke before the gentleman, there's a serious problem with such. Hey, the ministers of the government of the Grenada are representatives of the state called Grenada. They are not here representing NDC in government. And they have been trying to perpetuate that nonsense. But if you listen to the Sunday program, as though NDC is government. There's a big difference between a party and government ministers, government officials, and the responsibility. The responsibility is not towards party, it is a responsibility towards the state of Grenada. And they represent Grenada in the international market, as you might put it. They are there to sell Grenada to the world. And the fact that we have an agreement being part of the United Nations, people need to understand that, because being part of the United Nations, they are there to represent us throughout the world. And if the visa is revoked, they cannot go in the United Nations to speak on behalf of Grenada. The headquarters called the United Nations doesn't belong to America. It belongs to the rest of the world. All countries that are represented inside of that body, that building belongs to, or the area called the United Nations compound, you might say, belongs to the rest of the world, not America, not Donald Trump, not Marcos Rio. So the whole idea of revoking visas of ministers of government or representatives of government of any country, so that they cannot enter America to speak in the United Nations, is absolute nonsense. That has nothing to do with Cuba.
Why you go back to the United Nations? This issue is not about the United Nations. This issue is not about the United Nations. There are countries
in the consideration. That is critical in consideration. They are there to represent the nation, not NDC. So if you want to vet with them for letting the visa review, don't make a party issue about that. This is a principal situation where Donald Trump and Marcos Rubio is absolutely wrong about. And that, listen to me, that even include their families, you know. How Marcus is really
Color. The United States of America and Cuba is at war. There are 10 countries in the world where United States, they ban United States citizens. So United States could ban people from the coming country too. In the same way Grenada are independent and nobody can tell them what to do, United States independent too. What good for the goose, good for the gander.
Mr. Pierre, there's another aspect of the whole thing. Understand this, ladies and gentlemen, that the Cuban government, the Cuban state, is responsible for the education of the people who they send for, who goes all around the world and help other nations or other people. So having remittance going from them back to Cuba, what is the problem?
That is a matter of interpretation, Color. That is a matter of interpretation. We are not here, Color. We are not here saying whether the decision the American make is right or wrong. Our issue is Color. Did Grenada Foreign Affairs acted appropriately? Whose interest is seeking? Is it the Cuban interest or the interest of Grenada?
I think they stand for justice.
Then if they stand for justice, then they must stand the consequences.
The arrogance of America, the bullying of America.
Well, Color, that is... So...
And I'm not anti-American.
All right, okay.
But dealing with subject matter objectively,
all right.
America is absolutely wrong.
Yes, Color, thank you. Thank you.
Take care.
Next caller on the line.
Good afternoon.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to find out if the government would investigate.
Someone kind of.
I want to find out if the government will be investigating the statement that was just made that Grenadians are selling passports.
Well, Grenadians selling passports?
The citizens by what do you call it again? Citizenship.
So when you selling passport, you get $1 billion from selling passport. D2 and another company selling passport. You hear me say repeatedly, senior members of NDC are agents selling passport.
So I would like Mr. Dickon to investigate that.
How Dickon could investigate that? Senior members of the NDC are agents selling passport.
So he have to tell us too.
Why not to tell us about Dickon co-op online as what?
Yes.
Why not tell us?
He should open his right now and show us if he's involved.
The United Color.
Yeah.
This is an issue that I really believe we have to have more programs on in particular to discuss that issue because it's a big issue. So I'm trying to be as concise it in a minute. The United States and Cuba is at war. If you go in Cuba with $100 US, once you go through the system, Cuba take 30% of it. So that $100 US worth 70. These two people been finding ways to fight one another over 60 years. The United States has been using blockade. Cuba has been using propaganda and consultation. Now a lot of the money that Cuba is using is Russia. So in the Caribbean, we take with sword and we take side. A lot of the Caribbean leaders are very sympathetic to socialism and communism. So they're not calling for those prisoners, the political prisoners in Cuba. They're not calling to freedom. You never hear no Caribbean country, including the trade union in Grenada, call to free the thousands of Cubans in jail. If the United States says that Cuba is using the medical help program to circumvent the embargo and is using it in a coercive way, where exploiting the medical help people. So the United States is implementing secondary embargo. Embargo might not be the necessary word. So they say since Grenada dealing with these people, and some of the Cubans, they holding a passport, and are working under coercive methods, we put an embargo on you. In a nutshell, that's what it is. But we really need a lot of time to discuss this issue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's hope that the Prime Minister explains it to us.
The Prime Minister line. Anything the Prime Minister say color, you have to take with a whole plane of salt.
Well, I guess an excellent.
I will take this line for the Prime Minister, that joker. How you going to have a Prime Minister line too? How could we reduce ourselves to a issue where the Prime Minister, every time he open him out the line, the Prime Minister flip-flopping? Yes, come welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
Mr. Pierre, your insinuation, you're actually stating as if the government have a lot to do with what you're saying is happening. Your calling and inflections are speaking volumes. Right now, the fact of the matter is the government is doing a good job trying to safeguard the name of Grenada and its sovereignty and making partnership with the
whose interest the government seeking?
And
whose interest? The government of Grenada have to seek government interest, Grenada interest all the time.
nobody, but what? But hello, Mr. Pierre, you don't understand it. You don't understand it. No, you are insinuating on your program. The fact of the matter is, our Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell is doing a good job. He is showing leadership quality.
Are you insinuating that?
The African people.
Are you saying that?
Insinuating that the government is doing certain things that are wrong.
If the government doing a lot of things that wrong, color?
Here, what you are doing.
Color, the government doing a lot of things that is wrong. You let me speak about this corruption. You let me speak about the government beating the chest
Mr. Pierre,
and telling the US to take the visa.
for the 23 years in government, look at you have.
Where was NDC? How much years NDC spending government? Stop talking this nonsense. This is nonsense.
You are pushing.
The NDC spent 12 years in government.
It is falsehood. What you are doing, you're pushing a false narrative.
Then tell me what is it that I'm saying that is false?
It's exactly what I'm saying now.
Tell me what I'm saying that is false.
Deacon Mitchell, he is doing what he's supposed to do as a Prime Minister. He's negotiating. In terms of the minimum wage, he has.
We're not talking about minimum wage, we're talking about the thing with the US. We're talking about the US decide to put.
How you all are sounding? You're sounding as if the government have anything to do with that.
Minimum wage raise. The government not paying the minimum wage for low-rank workers.
Some credit on that.
When you talk about minimum wage,
some credit on that. You need to give them some credit.
Give them credit for what?
For what they do.
For using minimum wage as a cover to raise your salary by 300%. Color, what's wrong with you?
Understand? So you have to understand what is going on.
Color, what's wrong with you? You want to distract this thing and push minimum wage? The government not paying minimum wage.
Program. You have to be honest doing a program over the years. Look at the raise the salary from 700 to 1200.
Color, what kind of distraction tactics you using there? Color, come on, man, do better than that, man. People talking about the United States passport issue using minimum wage. The government is not paying the minimum wage to a number of workers in the country. That is deception. That is wrong. The government raised minimum wage only to cover the greed. They raise their salary by 300%. And because they are aware of the fact that people go talk, they raise minimum wage. Now they leave the businessman, the agriculture worker, in all kind of hot water. They also contribute, it could also contribute to reduce employment. Now we're speaking about the United States has put an embargo on the travel. And you come talking about minimum wage. The government is not paying minimum wage. Go to the road workers, health workers, some agriculture workers. That is deceiving the people. That is why we call them poor people terrorists. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Mr. I just see they like they say like Mr. On Anna thing they like I am Mr. Canwell and his wife was first get revoked from the U.S. government visa. They like,
Well, sometimes that could be true. Sometimes that
it could be
false because on social.
But what I'm trying to tell you, Mr. Pierre, you see that color?
No, don't go after colors.
To argue to kill
Color.
Mr. Pierre, listen, Mr. Pierre.
Color, no.
Mr. Pierre, that man program.
Color,
program. And we used to listen. Come out with a topic like what you doing there. Come out with a topic. And this man, up in Lafayette, they call Mr. Garden. He was trying to tell him, look, that wrong. And Mr. Pierre, that man argue with this man until that man didn't even see the man in. So that's why I'm trying to tell you, you must really argue with this guy.
Caller, you don't know. Caller, listen to me. This morning I invited NDC to call me. I'm a man that was humble NDC. I'm a man who go to them. I go to them and challenge them. These issues are big issues in the country. The NDC using the strategy to stay quiet and curse people. We must discuss the issue and educate people. I've not been saying anything about the sex that pass in parliament. I'm not saying about it. But this is the bigger issue is communism, is atheism, is Marxist-Leninism. And the movement is a child of that. Don't get carried away with one person call because they are support of the government. I go after jugglers. I'm very tolerant to the supporters. And that's why I go after Ditney and his crew. Because they are the ones that are effecting policy. Yes, scholar, and caller, you are the last scholar. So you got to punch.
Good morning, Mr. Pierre.
Yes.
I understand your strategy so well, and some of the people they letting their blood pump so close to the skin, they're not getting it. The freedom to speak, to let them speak. And in sense, if you try to spell nonsense, you get sense in nonsense. So, at times you have to let them speak. I listened to you ask him a question yesterday morning, and he take off in a different strategy direction, never answer the question. When you ask him about the corruption, he gone in a different branch. He's not addressing the issue at hand. So he's only distracting with other stuff. I don't know if he went to school, if he didn't go to school, if he went in August or when, I don't know when. But what he's pushing, and they accuse you, the same things they're doing, they're accusing you of doing that thing. So we got to let them talk and give them a vent, but at times we got to, capture our time and take it back from them.
Yes,
because they don't know shame.
Yes, thank you.
So you have a great day.
And that is our last scholar. I engage individuals in the country who I believe are stakeholders. That's why I go after education and teachers and lawyers and medical doctors and politicians. I'm extremely tolerant to people who not stakeholders. But I go after the University of the West Indies. And that's why I go after Deacon. I believe he's a fake. I believe somebody sent him. I believe he's the master deceiver. And I believe he's the corrupter in chief. I believe Deacon is corrupting institutions in this country. And he's using money to corrupt them. He said the reason he paid money is for good relationship. That is a corrupt act. When you have a prime minister claiming that morality is a private thing, you're supposed to get worried. When a prime minister in a public meeting say that the only reason NNP benefiting because he don't know who the true NDC is, in my opinion, that is a political crime. When I come on the radio I expected to get personal attacks, and I expect the government will go after me. And that's why I come. I expect they will go after me. Scholarship, opportunities for people to get promoted in the department. But I believe that our children must be prepared for the battleground. They must be prepared for war. Not war with guns. War with guns is minor. They must prepare for war. And I believe some of them are going to die in the process. And I prepare for some to lose. I concern a lot about the majority. When we tolerate the action of NDC today, we will be fracturing this country and causing hate. When cultureman, and cultureman don't know, NDC would never treat him with respect. Because he comes from the same socio-economic strata like me. Poor people children. Some set of people that they also call stinking gay rights and illiterates. And that is why Dick is saying he don't know who the real NDC is. And calling people classless. 50 years after independence. How could we tolerate our own children that believe they're better than us? These are the people I believe is a real criminal in the country. We have 100 house unit that in Karakou, while people in Karakou is struggling for house, they can have 100 house unit and refuse to give them. That is a criminal act. $118 million was obtained as a result of burial insurance scheme that the NDC did not start. And they squander the money. They squander the money. The level of corruption that exists between Andy Williams and Dick Major and other ministers, I call on the Integrity Commission. Nobody had to come to you and tell you. There is enough speculation, enough rumors. You hear the cry alacrity to investigate these bandits. And that's why I'm here. Not because somebody call and supporting Dick and say that, no, that's my friend. I want them to get educated and understand where we're going. We're going to divide this country and fracture this country and reduce this country to hate. And then the people looking up on, they're going to stop. And then we will come like Haiti. And I highly appreciate those who participate, those who call and disagree with me, and those who use cheap psychology to distract. I prepare for you too. While we're speaking about United States banning visa, you come talking about minimum wage, the government is paying. I ain't talking about that. You don't speak about minimum wage. You don't even hear me speaking about closure. When I speak about closure, I say we selected a bunch of greedy political neophytes. So we expect they're going to make massive blunders. Thank you very much for being with us today. And again, I have to thank my technical operator. Without her, this old man would not be able to function with the technology. That is why the Public Workers Union chose Francis Pierre from the medical health plan. They say he criticizing the union. Well, I go after jugglers. So I'll go after the union continually because they are not proactive. And it seems as though they get corrupted by the corruptor in chief. Thank you very much.